Okay, good afternoon everyone, good afternoon. It's Saturday afternoon in sunny London. It's another beautiful day here. It's really nice being in London in summer, I have to say. It is a really nice place in summer. It's a nice place most of the times, but it's actually even better in summer. I'd just like to say a big thank you to everyone that commented on my last video and all the support I've received from you guys. Big thumbs up, thank you so much. It's good to know that the channel is liked. It's good to know that you enjoy the content I'm making, and just going through a bit of a creative block, so to speak. But sometimes it's good to step away, look at it again, and come back with even better content. But thanks again. Thanks so much for all the messages, I guess, for all the comments. Anyway, so I don't normally like talking about values of Porsches, but I think today it warrants a Porsche chat. So let's do that. I mean, we shouldn't worry about the value of our Porsche 911, right? We shouldn't really be that concerned about it. And most of the times we're not. You buy it, you drive it, you enjoy it. You're not really that fussed about what it's worth or how it's appreciated. Even though in the back of your head, you know there's a little Porsche button that's going off saying, you know, you bought well. Especially if you bought a very rare 911, or you've bought a 911 that's already bottomed out for the depreciation, like a 997 is pretty much bottomed out, I would say. And if you bought a car like that, you know in the back of your head you've bought wisely. You haven't bought a new car where you're going to lose, you know, 10-20% off the value of the car in a few months or 6 months. So you know you've done well. Sure, you're going to have other costs and maintenance costs which may tend to be a little bit higher. But as I've said in previous videos, the Audi that I owned previously, it was more expensive to service and not that much cheaper to insure, etc. than the 911. So, you know, it depends on the car, I know, but in general, Porsches aren't that expensive to upkeep. And I guess I'm only talking about values today is because I always, as you guys already know, that I always search for GT3s. And I normally look at the Australian market because that's where my car is currently and that's where we live. So I look for cars for sale on Australia on a site called Car Sales, which anyone from Australia will know Car Sales. It's the main auto trader, so to speak, if you're in the UK, for the Australian market. There are not that many GT3s for sale, but it's an interesting market at the moment because there's probably like 28, I think, less a couple of dealer ads, so maybe there's 26, 27 GT3s for sale. The value of those GT3s is still quite high. The problem is they're not selling. You only think about the value of the car that you have now if you are contemplating upgrading your car to another Porsche. You can't say it doesn't matter, because it does matter. If you paid cash for the car, you want to know that that cash is secure and you have the cash to come back. If you've got finance on the car, you want to know that you're not going to have to do a payout at the end to make up the difference in the depreciation. So the value is important, but the value is important especially if you want to upgrade, because with a Porsche, the prices are in general going up. Even 996s, as we know, the 996 has been undervalued for a long period of time. The basic Carrera 996 or Carrera 4S 996, you know, it's hard to get a manual in those. They were very cheap. There's hardly any available now. There's a lot of Tiptronics. So, you know, that market is closed up. The price is going to appreciate. When they come back into the market next time, obviously they're going to be a lot more. But, you know, if you're looking at buying, you know, so you need to know the value of a car like a 997. I know that the Carrera that I have, from what we paid for it in 2017, January 2017, I know that that car hasn't depreciated. I put money into it. I bought Vista exhaust, I've put a stripe on it, I changed the wheels, and that's a cost, right? But in the cost of the car, what I paid for the car, I'm confident that I could sell that car for the same price today. I may not make any money, but I can make the same amount of money that I paid. So my money comes back to me. And that's a good feeling. It's a good feeling, especially if you're looking for the next level. And the next level, if I'm talking about a GT3, you know, I would have to be, you know, I mean, I guess you would say realistically the market value of the car I have now is 90,000 Australian dollars. I think it would be, I think I could sell it for 90,000 Australian dollars. If I'm going to buy a GT3, a standard GT3, a 997.1 GT3, you know, the prices are coming down, they're not really selling. There's not really that many for sale though. There's only 2 online in Australia at the moment on Car Sales. both of them have been on sale for a long time. One, a white one, keeps coming up for sale and going off and coming off, so I don't know what's the story with that. And there's another one which has been on there for, I think it's been on there for a year, so I don't know what the story is with that. But there's not really any 997s. I would probably, even though I really like the 997, and if a good one came up in low kilometers, a 0.1 GT3 in low kilometers, I would probably consider it. I think the market value for those is probably around 180,000. I know my friend has one and his has got a lot highly optioned, but I think the bottom level is about 180. If you put it up for 180, you'd probably sell it pretty quickly. If it has low kilometers, it's in good condition, hasn't been tracked too much. You put it up for 230, it's going to sit there. 997.2 GT3s. There's probably 4 or 5 for sale at the moment on the same site. And they're good ones that are up for sale. There's a couple of black ones, there's a silver, GT silver one, and there's a black one at Autohouse. I think 3 are in Melbourne. Now they range from about 230,000 Australian dollars to about 270,000 Australian dollars, plus on-road duties and on tax and stuff, so you have to add probably another 5-7% on top of that price. Now, they're a bit high. 997.2s, I think, are a bit high. And it seems, it's very weird because these ones that I've been looking at, they've been on sale for, they've been advertised probably for like 4 to 6 weeks. One probably longer than that. One was actually advertised, it was taken off, and then it was put back on. But there are dealers, some may be on consignment with the owner, I guess. But I'm always surprised by the fact that they sit there for so long and that they will not reduce the price. The price has not come down. Or if it comes down such a small amount. Now maybe when you go to negotiate, they'll bring it down more, but I don't think so. And I don't understand this you know, gold rush sort of mentality that they're still going to fetch those prices. It's way too high. The 997.2 GT3s, they're a great car, but they shouldn't be selling for that amount of money. They should be really, I think, you know, if you're looking at a 997.2 G3, the market really is saying it should be about 225 in Australia. 225 for a low kilometer version plus taxes, so maybe 230 on the road. Not 270, not 280, not 290. The 997.2 GT3s are almost the same price as the 991.1 GT3s. In fact, they are the same price. A lot of the 991.1 GT3s for sale, though, only have the you know, the electric seats, not the lightweight buckets. I think 1 or 2 do, but they're, you know, and the 901 GT3, you've got the thing in your head about the engine problems. The ones that I've seen, though, a lot of them are F engines. There are some, sorry, they're F engines, yeah. So they're not, there's some 2014s with the E engine. If you know about the E, F, and G engines in the GT3, you want to not get the E because they've all been replaced. You want to get F or G. G's are really limited, so really you're probably going to end up with an F. You get a 10-year warranty from Porsche, X amount of kilometers, just in case the engine fails. And they will replace the engine. So that's the deal with that. But that's another video. But, you know, so you're looking at about 270,000, you can get a 991.1 GT3. Now this is the thing. You know, I really like the 997, you know that. I'm a big fan of the 997, and I would rather get a 997 GT3. But then you've got the 991 tapping on the heels of the 997 and 270. Now, how much leeway is in that 270? Maybe there's more movement in that price with a dealer than there is in a 997. I don't know. I haven't actually gone that far because I'm not in the market right now to buy. But, you know, you have to, and I think this is the same thing with air-cooled and air-cooled cars. You know, people can buy a, you know, I read an article the other day in the UK, you can buy an old air-cooled 911, and for the same price you can get a 991. Now, everyone likes a vintage car, but let's be honest, a lot of Porsche buyers also prefer to have the latest and greatest. And this is seen by the GT3s and the GT3 RSs and the orders and the allocations and everything like that. And sure, there's some flippers in those people in the purchases of those cars, but a lot of them are enthusiasts. If you read it online, a lot of people are buying them because they love the idea of a new GT3 or a new GT3 RS or a GT2 RS. You know what I mean? But if you can buy a 991 for almost the same price as a air-cooled, I don't know, would you do it? I mean, the air-cooled is not going to depreciate. I mean, the 901's probably still going to fall. It still hasn't hit rock bottom. Not in Australia anyway. So, I don't know. It's tricky, you know, because a 964 in Australia, 964 was around, let's go back 4 years ago, and I'm making a guess here based on a friend that had one, but I think in 3 or 4 years ago you would have sold it for about 80,000 Australian. I noticed online now they're selling for about 993. I'm talking 993. Sorry, wrong one. They were about 80,000, and now for a standard manual with reasonably high kilometers, 200,000 kilometers, you're looking at $150,000. $150,000 you can buy a basic 991 Carrera S 991. It's about 150 now used. So in Australia. So there's a, you know, it's difficult. I know it must be difficult when you're coming into the Porsche world thinking, wow, I really like the pictures on Instagram, all those air-cooled cars, all those air-cooled 911s, they're so cool. You know, I want one of those. Oh, but the 991, that looks pretty cool too. I don't know much about Porsche. Huh, how come it's the same price? Huh? It doesn't have Bluetooth, it doesn't have this, doesn't have that. So you have to, you know, you have to look at it from someone who's new to the brand and someone who is appealed, has this, you know, attraction to the brand from social media or from friends or whatever. And it's hard when these prices are so overinflated. I mean, the thing I hate about car values is, and I'm sure this is the same in the UK and the US, in Australia there's a company called Redbook, which is the valuation thing. And it's always the same thing. When you're selling your car and you take a car to the dealer says Redbook is God. Redbook is the price. You know, Redbook in fact sometimes is overestimated, and you know, that's the price we can only give you for the car. Of course, when you're buying a car from them and you quote the Redbook figure and you say, oh, in Redbook this car is only worth 100,000, they go, oh no, Redbook is not accurate. It's always factored very low. So you know, it's always a juggling, and I guess that's the fun of dealing with a dealer. And I guess you need to buy a lot of cars to know how to do it properly. I'm not good at it. I'm not good at buying cars. My friend is very good at it. I'm not good at it. I'm not good at, and when I buy something, I just want to buy it. I don't want to have to haggle or mess around. I don't really think so much about it. I make the decision beforehand, I go in there, and then I buy it. So, you know, they give me a free keyring, I'll probably be happy. That's something I have to get better at. You know, but you look at the Porsche market over the last, not even the last 10 years. I mean, I think since 2003. Since 2003, when I first, 2004 actually, when I first started getting interested in the 3.2 Carrera. The 3.2 Carrera obviously is an air-cooled car. 3.2 Carrera, then you could get a very good model in Australia. You could buy one for 25 to 30,000 Australian dollars. I remember a few years later, a very, very good turbo one came up in brown. That classic 80s brown turbo came up, and it was, I don't know whether it was Autohouse, it might have been Autohouse actually, but it was probably in 2006, 2007, and it came up for 60,000 Australian dollars, and I thought, that's crazy. I can get the other one for only 30,000, this is 60,000, you know, but it was immaculate, it had no kilometers, it was beautiful inside. $60,000 for a turbo Carrera. Like, think about it, for a 930 turbo Carrera, like 60,000 Australian dollars. For what they're worth now, I think they're in excess of what, they're 300, 250, 300 more. That's the market, you know what I mean? Anyway, so GT3 market, I think, and I'm getting off track here and I'm ranting and I'm raving, sorry. But the GT3 market, I think, is dropping. Is stopped. I think the GT market is very frozen at the moment. I think that people, and I'm not sure, let me know what your thoughs are about UK and Australian market for GT3s, but, sorry, UK and US markets for GT3s. Let me know in the comments what the general trend is for the GT3, 997, 997, 996s in UK and US. But in Australia, I think the market is stagnant. It's stagnant. These cars are being advertised. They're still wanting the high prices. They're still not selling them quickly. I don't know, they seem to be willing to sit on these cars for like 6 months, if not longer. I don't understand. If that's the price you want, then maybe it shouldn't be selling the car now, because you're not going to get that price now. If you want to sell the car for a reasonable price and a relevant price in this market, then bring the price down. You know what I mean? They won't reduce the price. Now, sure, maybe they're hiding that and they just want you to go in and do the deal with them, but even so, I think the way things are going though, in about, I think give it another 6 months. I think GT3 market will be easier to get into. I think maybe they will readjust, and I'm hoping the prices will go down to that more reasonable level. Of course, when the prices go down, more people like me will go, oh, I want to buy one, and then there'll be no supply again. So when the price does go down, you have to be quick, because if you miss it, then it won't come around for a while. When the market goes soft, maybe people now are thinking, I've got to get rid of my 997.2 GT3, they're not selling, I need to sell it now because I need to get the best money I can for it, and it looks like the prices are dropping. And of course that happens in every market. So, you know, if the demand's not there, they put it on the market, but they still put it too high, there's no demand, it doesn't sell. So, you know, you have to price these cars relevant to the market conditions. You know, I don't like talking about values of cars. I don't like talking about how much a car costs, because, you know, sometimes when you talk about a car's 300,000 Australian dollars, it sounds like a lot of money, and it is a lot of money. But you have to be aware of the market and what it costs. It's like when you buy a house. You buy a house, it costs so much. You need to know that house is going up, because other houses that you want to buy are also going up. So it's tit for tat. You know, you have to know that you have the value still in your car, so that if you want to upgrade, you can upgrade. 997 GT3s used to come up and they used to sell like that. I remember when the 996 prices changed. I remember the 996 prices, and I can't remember how long it was. Not that long ago, 2013 maybe. And I was looking at GT3s, 996s. At the time, I wasn't really ready to buy due to other commitments, but I was looking hard and I really wanted to get one. I never did, and they were 90. I remember they were around 89,000, 79,000 Australian, low kilometers, you know, reds, yellows, blacks, common sort of colors for GT3s here. And, you know, I don't know when it changed, but it just changed like that. I remember there was one in Queensland here in Byron Bay, north of Sydney here. And there was one, and it sat there for $99,000. It was a seal grey GT3. It had no kilometers. I think there was 1 or 2 seal greys, or 1 seal grey delivered in Australia in the 996.2 generation of the GT3. It sat there for months and months and months. No one bought it. I kept looking at it thinking, I should try and get the money, I should buy it. I didn't buy it. You look at low value examples now. There's a low value example that's just come up in a 996. It's 250,000 Australian dollars. Now I think that price is ridiculous, and I think they'd be lucky to get it. Maybe if it was 220, it might come close, because it only has 7,000 kilometers. It's in yellow, I think it has carbon, but $250,000 is a lot of money for a 996. So once again, you've got a 996 GT3 low kilometer. Actually, that's a Series 1 too, Gen 1. So you've got a 996 Gen 1, 260 at the same price as a 991.1 GT3 at almost the same price that people are wanting the 997.2 GT3s. The 997.2 GT3 with the similar kilometers is 270, so it's 20 grand more. So all of a sudden, all these generations, they're all clumped together in the same price. You know, so it's a tricky market. It's a tricky market to understand. I'm not into Porsche for investment, I'm into Porsche for enjoyment. But you have to be aware of the prices, like I said, if you want to upgrade. Anyway, that's about it for today. A bit of a Porsche chat, I guess. I hope this wasn't too off-center or too... sometimes it's just good to chat. I guess these videos, sometimes the Porsche chats are a little bit like a podcast with a video in front of me. I ramble onto myself because there's no one else here to talk to. I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know in the comments if you enjoy these anyway. Yeah, so that's it for now. Saturday, going out to enjoy the sunshine. Thanks for watching. Thank you for all the support. If you haven't subscribed already, please hit the subscribe button. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Thanks so much. Till next time. Bye.